right here. And then as soon as he doesn't make this touch, you're double jumping here. And then secondly, your other option to make this play more deadly, if you're going to just take a touch on the ball, you have like 4 options versus doing what you did and immediately playing your hand and creating no opportunity out of it. Hey, what's going on, my fellow Rocket League players? Welcome back to the channel for another replay analysis here today. I hope you're ready to learn some great stuff because today we're going to do I hope you're ready to learn some great stuff because today we're analyzing Tawali, who's from our Discord, and he is Champ 3. I believe he said Div 4, so he's right on the cusp of breaking into GC, and he really wants that GC. So we came to your boy for a replay analysis so we can point out the little mistakes that might be keeping him from getting GC and then some. So as always, before we begin, if you want to get a replay analysis yourself, check out the link in the description, join my Discord, and submit a replay analysis to the replay analysis chat channel. It's completely free. Or if you want to get yours done sooner and ahead of schedule and way sooner, because it usually takes me like 2 months to get to these analysis sometimes, submit it to the sub-only replay analysis channel. This guy actually did that. You have to be a subscriber to my Twitch or my Patreon. So, you know, do that, drop the $5, or if you got Amazon Prime, use your Prime Gaming subscription to my Twitch account, and then you get access for free. And I do all the sub-only replay analysis before the free ones because that just makes sense. You support me by throwing a little bit of money my way. I support you by doing your analysis first. You can get your tips first, your advice first, and go start ranking up. Speaking of Twitch and all that, click that link in the description below as well. Right now, really quick, I'll go ahead and wait a second for you to do it. Open up the description, first link in the description, twitch.tv/crackzatgames. Hit that link, follow me. I want to see you there when I go live Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. Do it now. Now. I'm not just saying that for no reason. Go. Hit the follow button. Thank you. And I also know you guys, everyone got TikTok in this day and age, so go ahead and follow me on TikTok as well. I actually post a lot of short clips from these replay analysis that I do on my TikTok, and it's sort of a shorter, quicker, more digestible way to get a lot of the information from these replay analysis on my TikTok in a shorter form content. But I do recommend you also stick around on this YouTube channel, of course, and watch these videos because not everything from these videos makes it over to the TikTok. All right, now that all of that is out of the way, we can finally get into the analysis. Let's go. Let's start straight from the kickoff. Champ 3, 2v2. Kickoff's looking good, looking solid. It's good to see. Good play. Okay, now you are Champ 3, almost GC, and for a lot of people, you know, when I analyze Champ 2s or Diamonds, by this point, 5 seconds of the game, I usually have something to say already. So because I don't, I'm gonna have to point out smaller mistakes, and these are smaller mistakes, but these are the mistakes that keep you from getting GC, and from getting GC to GC2, and then to GC3, and then to SSL. So great play here. Your teammate doesn't have the best touch off the sidewall, comes back the wrong way, which actually, I mean, wasn't a bad thing. It gave you the ball. And then recognize you make one touch and you have to make your next play because Essence is right there. So you flick it over him. Really well done. But then here, this is a really tough shot to go for. So I would recommend just switching your game plan to trying to pass this. And because of the development of the play with your teammate, he just made that touch. He came off of the cheat up off of kickoff. He's going to be pretty low boost, if not 0 boost at this time. Okay, he gets the midfield boost. He rotates behind you. He's at midfield at this time, right? So if you're going to pass this, you want to pass this higher. Get it further out from the backboard here. One, because it's going to make it just harder for this guy to easily come and get the next touch. But if you were to put this higher, loftier off the backboard, it'll come out a lot further. It'll make this guy's read a lot harder. And it'll give your teammate a lot more opportunity to actually go up and go for a shot on this. But with your teammate's positioning off of what we just saw a second ago, he's in midfield. He's not playing that closely upfield right now, as he shouldn't be. He's waiting around in midfield. And this touch kind of straight off of the low off of the back wall is really easy for this defender to deal with. So try to take this touch a bit lobbier, a bit loftier, get it higher off the backboard and further away from the backboard, giving your teammate more space to be able to go up and go for the ball and go for a shot, go for a touch. And yeah, buy your teammate more time and give him more opportunity to be able to go for the ball. And then make sure you're picking up your pads, right? You did good to pick up this one pad. I mean, obviously, you're champ 3. I'm sure for the most part, you're pretty solid at picking up pads. Usually, people by champ 3 are pretty okay at picking up pads. You did good at picking up this one right here, but then as you flip away from this play, you're flipping, you're missing all these pads. You flipped this direction for whatever reason. You didn't flip over this path of pads right here. There's immediately 2 more pads that you'd be grabbing here. And instead of sitting at 12 boosts right now, you'd be sitting at 36 after grabbing just those 2 pads. And your rotation wouldn't be over at that point in time anyways. So you'd be able to pick up a lot more pads still. Let's see how many you end up grabbing. 1. And then you missed that last pad as well. On your whole rotation back, you picked up 1 pad. While you picked up that first pad, we'll count it 2 pads on your rotation back. But you could have had 2, 3, 4, and then don't miss this last one. You've got 5 pads. You could have picked up 5 pads. That's 12 boost each. That would have gave you 60 boost. You'd be a net with 60, but you're net with 23. That's a humongous difference. And then kind of a mechanical issue, kind of a decision making on it's mechanics and decision making at the same time, right? At this point in time, you're waiting to see if he's making a touch right here. And then as soon as he doesn't make this touch, you're double jumping here. But your double jump's a little awkward. You want to try to get your car facing the ball immediately here, so that you're not sort of just lofting like that. Your aerial here just wasn't great. 1, I think you could have just done a single jump aerial and saved your flip to follow up your touch here, right? Just single jump here, start air rolling and turning towards the ball, and then use your flip to hit the ball, I think was an option. The only reason that option might not be good is if Lucas goes for the ball here or he goes for the bump on you, the double jump would be better because the double jump would get you up to the ball faster and out of Lucas's reach of a bump faster. So the double jump is okay here as well, but the main point is your aerial's pretty weak for this. You need your initial jump and momentum and motion as soon as you jump needs to start turning you towards the ball. That's kind of just a bad aerial there. I mean, I'm gonna point out everything as much as I can, right? So he used his flip here. He used his flip here to put this off the backboard, and because of that, he's got a lot of momentum flying whatever direction he just went, right? Look at all the momentum he's got going this way. He's not going to be back to interfere with you for a sec. So you have the option here to slow this play down a little bit. You probably don't have enough time to wait for one more bounce to catch the ball. You probably are not in a position here to be able to wait on that bounce and catch the ball. But you could at least make this play a bit more threatening in 2 ways. Get a little bit more to the outside of the ball here, like this, and then start an air dribble. You don't even have to wait for the ball to make its bounce before you start an air dribble. You can actually start the air dribble right about now as the ball is at its peak height, right? Let me go back one more time. If you're not going to wait for the ball, to bounce like it is here to start an air dribble, which is what you see a lot of people do. They'll wait for the bounce, they'll be behind the ball, and as soon as it bounces, they'll start their air dribble. That's the easiest way to do it from the ground. But if you don't have the time to do that, you can start the air dribble without waiting for the bounce. And the easiest way to do that is to wait for the ball to get right before its peak bounce, right before its peak of the bounce, which would be right about here. And you could start the air dribble from here pretty easily as well, because you're just carrying that momentum that the ball already has upwards. So if you were out on the outside of the ball a little bit more and starting an air dribble, you would be able to stay with the ball and at least force it 50-50. if not get the ball past the defender, which is a lot better than just hitting the ball away from yourself and then having to chase it down. And then secondly, your other option to make this play more deadly, if you're going to just take a touch on the ball, you always want to try to set yourself up with your touch. So taking a touch more directly off of this sidewall, that would cause the ball to come out to midfield with you still directly behind the ball, right? Your momentum, if you made this touch on this arrow, the ball would bounce out this way and your car would be landing over here and you could follow up the ball. Really good play. Doesn't give your opponent really any opportunity to cleanly beat you. And at worst, again, you can force a 50-50 with their last man. Your first man, this is their last man. So if you can force a 50-50, that'd actually be really good for you guys, because if you win the 50-50 or the 50-50 doesn't go well for this last man at all, obviously he's the last one back. It's a free net for your teammate, most likely. So this touch you made, it just wasn't very productive. It didn't bounce off the wall to set you up. You had to go chase it, and it kind of gave away possession to your opponent. Or it at least bought your opponent a lot more time to deal with the situation. Good interference on the play here. That was an interesting double tap, how it rolled straight off the wall there. I wasn't expecting that either. Where's the other player here? He just dove at that ball, and you've got a lot of time on the ball again. So far, I'm noticing you're kind of rushing your touches, making touches that aren't really setting you up. They're kind of just giving your opponent an easier possession to deal with, or an easier clear to have, right? You're giving this touch here, it isn't threatening. This touch right there, look at where you land. You can't immediately follow it up. Your opponent can come and easily read this and easily get the clear, which they do. If instead, back on this play where you've got all this time, it's your ball, it's your touch, you dictate this play, let this ball come down off of this bounce, meet the ball over here, catch it, and then you can threaten a flick to the backboard where your teammate comes and cleans up. You can threaten a flick on net. You can pass it midfield. You're giving yourself a lot more options, and you're a lot more deadly if you wait on this ball instead of just taking a random touch to like this area of the backboard where your car is landing up this way and you can't really follow it up at all. If anything, you could try to have a better touch. It's going to be really hard from this position though. I really don't foresee a good way of jumping off the ball in this, or jumping off of the wall in this position where you are and being able to get a good touch on this ball. Your best possible touch that I think you could get off of in this play, immediately jumping off of the wall, would be to like really hard hit this off of the back wall here. I think that's pretty much the best play you could possibly make, and even that is still going to be really easy for him to defend. So your best play here would have been to just wait for this ball to come down, catch it, and then you have three options. You can flick to the backboard, you can flick on target, or you can pass out midfield, or you can even just take a 50-50. So you have like four options versus doing what you did and immediately playing your hand and creating no opportunity out of it. I'd be really careful about challenging this. I honestly don't like this challenge, and I wouldn't probably challenge this myself, because this position, it's really easy for him to play this past you more often than not. Kind of got lucky that you were able to get this touch on him, but I honestly think more often than not, he's beating you in this position. If he hits this just slightly more on the outside of the ball, he cuts this past you, bam, he hits this, he cuts it past you, and he can stay on the ball just by driving into this. He chips it past you and then is in a 1v1 with your teammate or a 2v1 with your teammate, and this guy can go for the demo, he can position for a pass, this guy can set up for the flick to the backboard, and they have a 1v2 on your teammate if he gets this past you and you dive at the ball like you did. So I really don't like this challenge. I think this was a really low percentage play to challenge on. I think what you could have done here, instead of jumping and flipping at the ball, which would take yourself out of the play a lot longer if he does get this past you, just drive challenge. That's always my advice. If your opponent already has the ball in a position where they can beat you, right? If it's already on their hood and they can flick you anytime you challenge, if they're in a position where all they have to do is touch the ball past you, it's not worth diving at the ball and trying to get a lucky block. It's better to just drive challenge, go for the bump and demo on them, and then just rotate out, interfere with their play, possibly get a demo, possibly give your teammate a free ball. But the main thing is you don't take yourself out of the play and you're right back in the rotation and your teammate can go next. Or you can even just fake challenge, rotate out. The drive challenge I think is better because you're interfering with the play 100% of the time. You're not just fake challenging, and if they call your bluff on a fake challenge, then nothing happened, right? You didn't really force anything to happen. But if you drive challenge, go for the bump, go for the demo on them, at the very least get a touch on the ball, and then you're immediately rotating out because you didn't jump, you didn't flip, you just stayed on the ground. That's, I think, the best outcome in this situation. So anytime that your opponent already has the ball in a position where they can beat you, you don't want to try to dive and get lucky. You want to just throw in a drive challenge and rotate back. Because if you got that ball past you right there, your teammate would be in a 2v1 right now. Good try on the open net. That was really close. And I kind of feel like you're double jumping for aerials a lot of the time. Not a lot of the time, but a couple of times now. I feel like you're double jumping for aerials that you don't need to double jump for. I think you could have single jumped for this. Again, saved your flip and then use your flip to shoot this. And what that also does by not double jumping when you don't need to, you're not committing as hard to one trajectory on an aerial. So if you slightly misread the ball, it's easier to adjust and still get a touch on the ball. Now, right, you don't want to single jump for a high aerial where you're not going to have your flip to use anyways, right? You want a fast aerial when you have to fast aerial. If the ball was all the way up here, anywhere up in the sky here, obviously you want to be fast aerialing. But when the ball is in a very reachable position, like right here, without a fast aerial, a lot of the time it's better, or it can be better, to not fast aerial if nobody's challenging you. This guy's not challenging you. Just use your single jump and then flip into the ball for the shot. And again, if you slightly misread the trajectory because you didn't double jump and you're not, right, say you need to be reading the ball here, but you accidentally read the ball over here. If you double jumped, you are reaching this height a lot quicker. That's the point of a fast aerial. But that also means if you misread it, you have a lot less time to adjust your trajectory, right? If you only single jump, then you have all of this extra time to adjust your trajectory. Versus if you double jumped, you have only this small amount of time to adjust your trajectory, if that makes sense what I'm trying to say. So I feel like you're double jumping for aerials, you're fast aerialing sometimes and you don't really need to. So keep that in mind. What I always do is if I don't need to double jump for the aerial, then don't. But if you're getting challenged and so you're racing somebody to the ball, or you're challenging something that, I guess, if you're racing somebody to the ball and the ball can potentially get over you, then you want to double jump in order to get as high as you can, as fast as you can, and block anything from going over you. But again, this is uncontested. I don't think you needed the fast aerial here. That was better. See how you were able to hold on to your flip? I honestly thought you were not going to have your flip anymore at this point. I'm really surprised you did, honestly. That had to be the exact millisecond you would have lost your flip. That was an open net. Unfortunate. Should be up one. At least one right now. An unforced whiff. These are small errors that you need to polish up if you want to hit GC and then climb GC, right? This is an unforced error. It's a whiff. for no reason. He didn't hit the ball. He just whiffed. Okay. Bad rotation here by you. Right, in this position, as soon as that touch is made, this is no longer your play, right? I am fine with this rotation. All right, I'm back. I had to go for a second there. Anyways, I like your rotation here until this guy makes his play on the ball, because you're rotating back, right? The play is moving this way, so you're technically, the ball is moving this way. So this rotation is technically correct because the play is going that way. So if you were to rotate in this way, you'd actually be rotating into the play. You'd be rotating into the ball. So I do like this rotation, but as soon as you make, or as soon as this guy flips into the ball and you see that your teammate's going to have the touch pretty easily, that's when you immediately want to rotate behind him. But you come up and you try to stay on the ball, even though your teammate gets it past him, his momentum's also carrying him this way so he can follow up the ball, but you're chasing it for no reason here. So bam, your teammate gets the touch, he flips into it, his momentum is carrying him this way, right? The ball's clear past this way into the corner safely, your teammate's momentum is carrying him perfectly to follow up the ball. You have no business turning on this ball to try and follow it up. This is not your ball, it's your teammate's ball, so let him be on the ball. This touch kind of rushed, okay? A lot of Grand Champion is trying to bait your opponents. Don't make a touch until you have to. Don't make a touch if you don't need to, right? In this position, you just hit the ball. It's traveling safely across the net as long as nobody's there for the shot. And if you were to just stay on the backboard until this point right here, just a second longer, you would see he's rotating out. He's not facing the play. There's no threat of him. So you're here on the backboard, shadowing the ball as it goes across, and you can let your teammate go if he wants to go. You can jump down and catch the ball. If this guy tries to do a quick turn and challenge, then you can jump off of the backboard, save your flip, right? Let me show you this in the fly perspective, what you should have done here, right? You're shadowing, he hits this ball, it's going across the net. You're staying on the wall, noticing he's not challenging. You jump off the wall and you can catch it here. And now you've got this guy in a 1v1 because you caught the ball here. He's shadowing you, going back towards net. At any point he challenges. I mean, this is just a 1v1 play. You know how to play 1v1s if you play any 1v1s. You know how to play it. Or it's even a 2v1. If you want to take the 2v1, let your teammate go for the demo. If he positions for a pass, you can pass to him. It's situational and what the best play in the moment would be. Your other option, you're shadowing on the wall. You see this attacker turn as if he's going to challenge. So you jump off the wall, but you don't hit it yet, right? Again, GC is about trying to bait your opponents and trying to create free nets to score on by beating the last man. So you jump off the wall. You wait until the last possible moment, and then you use your flip to play it over this guy, right? He'd be turning. He'd be like, oh, I'm going to challenge. You better hit the ball. And then what happens? You're shadowing behind the ball. You save your flip until the last moment, and then you flip it over this guy. And again, your momentum would probably carry you this way. You could probably get this boost and the ball, and you'd be well on your way. I don't know if that makes sense, what I'm saying. Point being, you jumped off of the backboard a bit early, and you made your touch when it wasn't really necessary. There was no danger, and even if there was danger, if you stayed on the backboard a little longer, you still could have cleared the ball past Lucas either way. But if you just waited a little longer, took an extra second there, you could have had a much better play and put your guys' selves in a lot better position, a lot more deadly position. Going for the cuts pinch. Not a terrible plan. Nice. Oof, missed the boost, unfortunate. Bit awkward here, huh? What happens? Why is this so awkward? That's tough. That's tough. Personally, what I would have done in this situation, I mean, you would have avoided this play, this awkwardness. It's not necessarily... Oops, my fault. I didn't mean to press play. It's not necessarily the best play, but what I would have done in this situation is after you make that touch, I would have drove up to the backboard here. After you make that half flip touch, I would have came up and gotten myself onto the back wall here. That way, if they come and they make this touch, you're pretty easily in position to deal with it. And at the same time, if they try to play this down below you towards the net, there's a very high chance, more likely than not, that nobody's going to be there to be able to shoot the ball anyways. To be able to get it past you in this position, they'd have to hit the ball really hard, really fast. And with both players on this side of the field, it's unlikely that anyone's going to be there to score it anyways. So just watching this play, after you made that half flip touch, I would have driven up onto the back wall a little bit, and then if you need to at any point in time, you can. The turn onto the wall would probably look, if I'm thinking about this, sort of like this, and then you would turn out and shadow this way, letting this person who's coming to challenge make the touch in this direction, and you take the ball across the other direction. Or if you have to, you flip into it, you clear it, whatever. But either way, if they try to play the ball past you, you can turn and defend the net in whatever way you need to. So that's the only thing that I would have done in this situation that you didn't do. I would have gone onto the backboard here. Nice. Sort of just some chaos in front of the net, and you came out on top. Take those, we take those. That was good. That was a lot better. So you baited in your opponent as soon as he got close enough that you could play this past him, or that you were forced to play it past him, because if you don't, he's gonna go. But you beat him, and you beat him hard, and now look at it's a 2v1. You don't have much boost, but it's still a 2 versus 1 because you waited on making your touch until you baited in the opponent. Nice, that should be a goal. Nice. Good block. I'm glad you didn't go for this. I don't really think this is worth going for because the ball's so high in the air. Really easy to miss this, and because the ball's so high in the air, it's not really super threatening. It's going to be a pretty slow and long distance shot, so you can get back and cover it if you need to. The only thing is I would have liked to see you turn back defensively a little sooner. You kind of hesitated here. You made your decision not to go, and then you hear the opponent go, but you still lurk in midfield, right? The only reason this would be a good play to lurk in midfield is if the opponent was going to whiff. You might be sitting here to wait until he whiffs, But if anything, your teammate can cover the whiff option because he rotated it out to that side of the field. And your biggest goal here is to not get scored on. So you need to be going to a more defensive position sooner here. Because if he does, I mean, at least get a good shot here. It's going to be a lot harder to deal with this because you waited so long to rotate back into a more defensive position. So after you make the decision not to go for this, and then you also hear your opponent's up, as soon as you hear your opponent's up, you need to be going back defensively. I think you were trying to shoot this, which would have been a good play. Shot would have been great there. I think, again, you were trying to, but just didn't get the shot. Ooh, super close. Really small detail here, but you want to keep your play selection in mind, right? Always want to choose the best play in the moment. And as soon as you see your opponent or your teammate gets bumped back upfield here, and I'm pretty sure he just made the last play on the ball, so he's probably pretty low boost here. He's awkward in net, he's slow to recover, and then he gets bumped back as well. You want, at this point in time, because you can't really score this, your mindset needs to switch to, oh crap, I need to buy time right now. I now need to buy time because my teammate got bumped back upfield. He's slow to recover. And if you put this too hard off of the backboard, it's going to be a really fast counterattack for your opponents who are waiting in net, right? Luckily, you're able to get a okay touch where it kind of doesn't give your opponents a very quick counterattack off of the backboard going back your way. But as soon as you see that your opponent's now, or your teammate's now taking longer to get back, I don't think you should have flipped into this. Bam, I think you should have just tried to play probably for maybe a pinch off of the back wall upwards. Right, just float behind this, float behind it to the backboard, and then pinch it upwards, which you kind of did, but it could have been a little better. And this is a very small detail and very fast decision making. But if you don't, again, you don't flip into this, you just keep shadowing behind the ball as it comes down, float behind the ball, meet it at this wall, and then pinch it upwards. It sticks to that back wall, and there's no immediate counterattack for your opponents. It gives you guys a little bit more time to get set back up on defense. And this counterattack takes a little bit longer for your opponents to develop. That's tough. That's tough. Very small touches on the ball here. Everyone's right in this position, and unfortunately, you just don't foresee your opponent beating you here. The only thing I'm going to say here is boost down towards the ball. Notice you're boosting just straight into the air, which is just not the optimal way to get back, right? You're putting momentum going back this direction, but you're not giving yourself any momentum going down towards the ground, so if you boost more so down towards the ground here at a diagonal, going back towards your net, right? You're going this direction and falling. But you can go this direction and boost down towards the ground. Oh my God, what are the controls? Down towards the ground. You would have gotten down to the ground a little quicker, and you might have actually been able to save this. Right, in this position, if you were boosting down to the ground, you'd be on the ground now. You could flip towards the play right now while also grabbing that pad in front of you with 12 boost. You'd probably, at this point in time, be about right here. You might have saved this ball had your recovery just been slightly more thought out, boosting towards the ground instead of in the air, you might have actually saved this. Or at the very least, you could have bumped essence off of the ball. So, very small detail that could have made a big difference. Good try. Yeah, this should be a pass to your teammate. I don't know if that's what you're trying to do. Maybe you're trying to set him up for a shot here. But I think it would have been better because your opponent's right over in this area. There's a ton of open space over here. If you get up and you hit this ball to about right here, he's beat. He can't go because if he goes, this guy just clear beats him. And you give him options. He can hit a backboard. He can take a shot. He can pass back. He can take the 1v1. Again, always trying to pick the best play in the moment. The play that gives you the most options. The play that's the most deadly. Instead, you make your touch 2 upfield. And while if you guys were perfectly in sync, your teammate could at this exact moment be up for the ball, going for the shot, and that could be deadly. But the higher percentage play, the play that gives you the most options, and the play that I think would be better here would have been, again, to have hit the ball in this sort of vicinity where anywhere in this play, your teammate gets here first. This guy can't challenge because he's getting beat if he goes. Your teammate gets a free ball to do whatever he wants with, and you possibly score. But because you hit the ball over here, this guy is closer to the ball, your teammate can't go, and that play is kind of dead. Oof, bad play by your teammate there, really weak shot. Ooh, really good try, really good try. The only thing that you could have done better here, I mean, in hindsight, is instead of doing this weird flip that you do, just continue rotating upside down like you are. Keep flipping backwards like you are. And then once you're upside down, just do a front flip at the ball. That would have been better than doing this weird sort of backwards diagonal flip that you did or whatever. It's front flip kind of thing. If you just kept going upside down and use your flip now towards the ball, you would have got a lot better contact on it. You probably would have saved it, honestly. So really, you're champ 3 and you look good recovery wise. You look good speed wise. You look good recovery wise. But your decision making on picking the highest percentage play, on picking the best play needs work. And just overall, I guess, experience, really. Your mechanics seem pretty good. Your game speed seems pretty good. I think you just need more experience at this point in time. Submit more of these replay analysis, play the game some more, and I think you're well on your way to hitting GC and then some. You're looking like I've done Champ 3 replay analysis. Your speed and your recoveries are looking top tier for Champ 3. It's just your decision making and sort of play selection that need work. Shot could have been a lot better, unfortunately. Sort of mistimed your touch here. Yeah, just sort of mistimed your touch here a little bit. Unfortunate. Okay, catch this, wait for his, he's probably, yeah. That's tough. Not much you can do there. GG. Good tries, good tries. I think there was a lot, you guys had a lot of opportunities on offense that either you missed an open net or you just didn't select the best play. There was a lot of opportunities for on offense that were not taken advantage of to the fullest. So yeah, like I was just saying before the game ended, your speed and your recoveries look good. You look like, again, I've done lots of champ 3 analysis, and your speed and recoveries I would say are above average for sure. It's just sort of your play selection. You're picking the highest percentage play that needs work. So keep at it, man. Come to the Twitch streams, watch me play, watch other people play, watch people who are better than you play, because that's where you'll learn. That's how you'll learn. It's really hard. You can't really just make up in your head, like, what should I do here? You have to see it from somebody else before you can really utilize it yourself. You know what I mean? It's really hard to just make up plays, make up original plays, or like choose the best play to make in the moment if you've never really seen those options. If you don't know what your options are, it's hard to pick the best option. You know what I mean? So you have to watch people who are better than you play and watch how they play certain situations. And that's how you learn the best play to make in the moment, by watching other people make the best play in the moment and seeing it work out for them. So follow me on Twitch. Come check out the gameplay when we're live. Notice what kind of plays I make in certain situations. Go watch pro players. Notice what kind of plays they make in certain situations. Go watch slightly below pro players. Go watch SSL players. Go watch bubble players. Because a lot of pro players kind of fuck around a lot on stream, I'm not gonna lie. They don't make the best decisions in the moment because it's ranked and they're not really concerned with winning. They're more so concerned with just having fun, which is great. Anyways, that's a rant. That's a different topic. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, again, leave a like on the video, comment down below. We're gonna have another secret code in this comment section down below. If you made it to the end of the video, comment below your favorite game that isn't Rocket League. That's what I want to know. Tell me below in the comment section below what your favorite game is that is not Rocket League. That's how I'll know you made it to the end of the video. Everyone else won't know why you're bringing up that topic, and they'll be like, okay, that's kind of weird. So that'll be just between you and me. You and me, the people who made it to the end of the video, and me, we'll know what this conversation's about. Let me know down below what your favorite game besides Rocket League is. Leave a like on the video if you learned something. I know you did. I know all you guys watching are probably like Diamond 2, so you learned a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we make these videos, we make educational Rocket League content. That's what I like doing. I like making educational Rocket League content so that I can educate my newbie teammates, so that hopefully they're not so newbie the next time they're on my team. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. We're back on our grind. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.